With the goal kickers here, we go to the Eagles. They're all single goal kickers in Cooper, Grokey, Vince, Simmons and Salter. Marnie and McConnell have been lively up forward for Glenelg with 2 each.
They spread it around a bit as we look at this. Gee, it reflects an even game. The interesting note there, of course, the 20-odd more handballs that the Tigers have had.
Yeah, every indicator says that it's a close game and the margin is only 2 points. It's been really tight and it's hard to gain an advantage in this game so far in the first half.
Sodas joins us from the boundary, and so does Matt Doldig. Look, he didn't have much of the ball, and now he really has a problem with his ankle.
Yes, he certainly won't get any more of the ball today and possibly for the rest of the year. He just seen the marking contest, goes up. It looks pretty innocuous. They're rolled over onto the ankle. Now, when they got the boot off, when he got his way over to the sideline, that had blown up very, very quickly. Plenty of bleeding there. He's been assessed down in the room, and look, there are some pretty grave concerns about the fitness of his ankle at the moment. Well, in fact, possibly the worst case scenario is that there's some pretty serious ligament damage and a possible break. Best case scenario is it's a very, very bad sprain, and he'd be out for a couple of weeks anyway. So he's just ducked off. We can see him there on the crutches about to hop in the car, and has just ducked off to hospital moments ago for that scan. So things not looking very good. Now, the big problem for the Bays, besides losing him, is that it loosens up a defender for the Eagles. A lot more pressure now on guys like McConnell and Kirkby and also Jeff Smith up forward. James Seller, a player who has been playing in the twos, but he didn't play with a quad, so no chance probably of him coming up. So it does leave the Bays a little vulnerable up front.
Thanks for that, Sodas. Quickly around the grounds, and Port Adelaide giving West another fearful hammering at the Richmond Oval, and that margin 64 at half-time. And then Norwood and South a bit closer, 11 points. Obviously down at Noarlunga, Rod, you would have experienced that. There'd be a fair breeze to one end of the ground.
Yeah, South right in that game, and look, I think Norwood have won 2 of their last 10 games, so they're not playing much better than South are at the moment.
No, it's been disappointing. I guess a disappointing finish for the Legs, because they were right in it, weren't they?
Well, they have early, I guess they were, but I've been really disappointed in their last 10 games. I don't think they've been doing much at all, haven't improved at all, really. And
how do you see this one going? It's pretty tight at the moment, just a couple of points the margin.
I think the advantage might go with the Eagles just for their experience.
No bias in that? You were on the Eagles coaching bench.
I was, but I just think, they've got players who've been playing together for 6 or 7 years. They're used to tight games. They're used to this sort of finals pressure, and Glenelg is just starting to get used to it. It's going to stand them in good stead for the finals, Glenelg, but the Eagles might just get away with it today.
Yes, that finals pressure seems to have come a week early for the Bays. Just about set for a start in the second half. Of course, we remember last year the Bays were dumped out of it in round 23 against South Adelaide, and South Adelaide went on to actually win a final. Let's see what happens this afternoon. Here's Michael Maney.
Yeah, and the Eagles collect the least amount of possession for the competition, but they use what they get pretty well. Third quarter of round 23, and the umpire will call it back and will ball it up again, as happens so often. Bernie Vince having a chuckle. Soda.
Well, I was going to say, round 23 hasn't been good for the Bays. Last year, Jeff Smith broke his ankle in that game they had to win to make the finals, and this year it looks like Doldig may have done a similar thing.
Yeah, and Fisher was on his way back from injury and couldn't quite get back for that game and played in the twos, I think. Treby over the top. Good handball to the run of Jared. Jared's got to get around. He does successfully. Away to Cooper. Cooper loads up from downtown. And just misses away to the right-hand side. That breeze looks like it might have worked its way up a little bit at half-time, Sodas.
Well, Michael, if anything, it certainly hasn't died down, and I think we mentioned probably conservative estimate worth a couple of goals at least, and we saw that in the first term when Glenelg did trail by a few goals and squared the ledger by half-time. So I think Glenelg will be looking to just keep the Eagles at bay this term, and if they can, they'd have a good chance against the breeze, but that's probably their best case scenario today.
Good contested pack mark there from Kirk, and they work at the centre wing to Kirkby, and just the wind carrying that out of bounds on the full.
With the other Kirkby, Kirk A then?
Here's higher.
Kirkby.
Drops it inside for Treby. And there are a pair of players in the goal square behind Treby, and that's it. Everybody else forward of the ball in this situation. Treby drops it in short. And now leading out was Salter. That was a target, and Salter takes it nicely low. Just a little too much pace for the veteran Sherwood, who gets up very gingerly after that.
Gee, beautiful kick out in front. We just go back to it, and in space, leading up Salter. Terrific lead, had space in front, perfectly executed kick.
Just wonder how his knee is after that, because that ground, as we've said today various times, very hard out there, and Salter hitting it pretty hard. And has he made the same mistake? No, he hasn't. He's just managed to drift it inside the post for a goal. So he goes one better than Cooper.
That's a beautiful kick by Salter. He really is a player to be reckoned with. I like seeing him down in the goal square where he is now. Schwartz has moved out. You see, it was Stewart who got the ball. Just a nice lead. Put it out in front and finished with a good goal. Interestingly enough, Lindsay, Powell and Lomas start on the bench for the Eagles. So they've got some firepower in midfielders to come onto the ground later in the game.
You just got to work out that tricky breeze and how to kick goals, but we know this man, Nick Salter, can kick them from anywhere. The Eagles back out to a 9-point lead, courtesy of the Salter goal. Back in the centre, Murphy to Fisher. Glenelg tacking their way up. Allen, that's a strong mark in front of Stewart. Stewart lets him go. Allen is pretty fit at the moment. Just waits on it. Some numbers getting back from the Eagles, and they've just about manned everybody up, and now Allen's forced to kick high and kick long in the middle of the pack. Oh, McConnell just about sharked it. Redden luckily got it away to Vince, and then Vince goes to Jared. Now a bit of work going on after that kick by Vince, and McConnell's in a bit of strife from a couple of Eagles. Redden's in there. Vince doesn't look too perturbed. Jared finds Stewart on the outer side. Kicks to the wing. Mules knocks away for Glenelg. Taken by Kane. That's good work. Whistle's blown. And there's a real big scuffle up forward. And McConnell's right in the middle of it. And you wouldn't want to get reported now.
Oh, it's ridiculous. And you see Bernie Vince was in there too. McConnell was trying to get him going, but Bernie's smart enough to walk away from that. He's got too much at stake.
So the Eagles will take it inside 50 through Simmons. No, they won't. They'll go to Fairclough, who can take it inside 50. Cooper was loose. He missed him by a long way.
It's almost as though he saw the lead there. He saw Kirk in the hole and has kicked it straight to him.
Kirk now has a decision to make and takes his time making it. He wants somebody on this side of the ground, decides to go high and long. Treby should be too strong for Ruwalt, who actually did pretty well. Ruwalt towed forward and still trapped in there. Marnie was in there and came out, and in the end, Backwell has to surrender the ball.
Neil, Ron Fuller just making a change. He actually had Dennis Redden one out in the square with Justin McConnell. Perhaps probably thought Redden would be a bit vulnerable, so Zach High has gone there, and Redden's moved up to take Marnie.
I think that's a smart move. Just looked like Redden was struggling a little bit earlier in the game when he was one out in the square with McConnell. He's so clever.
Dabrowski and Sikalella gets forward of the play, but it was out of bounds before he could gather it in. 9 points to margin. And again, a period of play where both sides just throwing the odd jab, but no knockout blows. Mules, Backwell, has to be precise, put it into the path of Sherwood. Pursued by Salter. We just got around, hand pass dangerous. Kane, now he can gather. Not a bad kick. Sets it for contested play. Sugars did well. So did Willoughby and Holmes. And now Ruwalt's clear. Here go the Bays. Their supporters rise. Lovely kick. Smith takes it. McConnell wants it back in the goal square. Smith sets it up. McConnell can have a leap. Comes to the front. Nicely gathered. And they'll go the other way through Petrenko. His kick just didn't have the carry to Fiachi. Now it's 2-on-1 Hinge. He got it off to Murphy. Sat up nicely for him. Murphy to half forward with a kick. It was good. Oh, he spent it before he actually had it. And now it comes the other way again for the Eagles. And they have numbers this side. Schwarz can take off. Inside 52, 3 available. And he goes to Dabrowski. Sikalella's short and out in front of goal. Simmons is sitting. He's still there. He's still there. And it's sat up and just faded away for the minus score. Gee, that was disappointing. They had numbers and then too many to
I don't think
choose from.
Dabrowski actually had a shot for goal then. He just sort of popped it up, and if he had had a real shot at that left post, it would have gone through. Bad play, I would have thought, by Smith up forward then. He either had time to go back and have a shot or set something up. He played on quickly and kicked to a contest out wider than the corridor he was in. He needs to learn from that. Have a look at the video, I reckon.
And McConnell had to fly from behind.
Yep.
Kane tried to keep it low into the breeze. Flicks over the back. Fedler. It's got a high ball. Oh, Lindsay should have taken that. Salter got it to Cooper. Cooper looks at them and misses.
Gee, Salter unrewarded there. That was brilliant, the way he held the ball in, got it out to Cooper in space. We'll have another look at that now. You see Salter just held it in, provided the shepherd. Cooper knew straight away. Out of luck, I think he said, and he missed it.
11 points the margin, 1 goal, 3 for the term. With the breeze, the Eagles. Mules has been rewarded with the mark. I thought he had it clean. Benny Mules, who won a male medal playing in the southeast. Chips it in short for Backwell. Numbers on the far side of the ground. Backwell runs, carries, gives it to Rudolph, takes a mark. And quickly on, Sugars and then Kane, and this boy can run, and he does so, and nobody comes at him,
going,
and nobody's chasing.
Going.
He can go all the way.
Manassa.
He gets to 25 and kicks a point. Gee, just took maybe 1 stride too many.
Isn't it exciting to see players who run with the footy? See Kane here, he's taking his 3rd, his 4th bounce. Looks again, 5 bounces. I reckon if he hadn't have waved the crowd on, he might have kicked that goal. Didn't matter, here's one.
Just amazing stuff. And Murphy, I think, is the man who's kicked the goal. We were watching the replay of Ben Kane, but it's just sensational play. Or is it young Holmes has kicked it? So
I reckon it was Holmes. Let's go back to it now. Murphy handballs into Holmes, in space, in the corridor. Nice work, boys. Good goal to Glenelg, and they're staying in touch.
Holmes on debut, his 1st goal.
Centre breaks 1-1 this quarter. It is such a tight game.
It's the 4 points in it. Kirk. He got it down, and
Allen.
the grunt man in Allen just trying to bust through a pack. It was never going to happen. Very, very interesting stage of the contest. Remember, if the Bays will be in touch about that goal, 2-goal margin at 3/4 time, I think they'd be pretty confident coming home with the breeze. Interesting, Ciccolello with some footwork on Fisher, who objected to it.
yeah, sure. Had a look at that. He's got to be careful with that sort of thing.
With nothing on the end of this game, if it is only a 2-goal margin at 3/4 time, it probably gets the Eagles an opportunity to try something they could try in the finals and maybe play a couple back, maybe just slow a game down, which they'll get the chance to use something like that in the finals.
Let's have another look just behind the play here with Ciccolello. Interesting.
Yeah, you got to be careful, don't you? It's just silly bicycle there.
Here's Ruwalt breaking away using his pace and goes inside 50. Holmes almost got rid of his man. Marnie was brilliant below the knees. Ruwalt can kick a goal. Smothered. Well done by Jared. They still force it forward, the Tigers. Smith trying to break away. Geez, big and tough and strong. But even he has his limits.
He does. He worked hard in there, but he was up against it against some strong Eagles tackles. Their tackling has been terrific today.
Bays get it forward again. Petrenko taken, gone, holding the ball. What a magnificent tackle from Holmes. Gee, the young man meant that at just 18 years of age on debut. Have a look at this.
Yeah, let's have a look at it. He's been terrific, Holmes. And he tackles Petrenko. He's probably the quickest bloke on the ground.
Yeah.
And has been rewarded. A lot of pressure on the young fella, though. He's straight in front of goals. Would never have had pressure like this, certainly at this level. So we'll see how he handles it.
Played in the under-18 nationals for South Australia this season from West Gambia. Prolific southeast recruiting zone for Glenelg, isn't it?
It's starting to come through now, isn't it? A lot of hard work put in over the past few years.
Here's Holmes. And with hits the post, almost hits the very, very top of the post.
That's the pressure we're talking about, boys. 10 metres out, virtually straight in front. Just watch it again. Feeling the pressure out, Josh Marnie telling him what to do. Good advice, I'm sure. But just poked at it, and he'll learn from that, as will Petrenko.
Yes, he'll take the positive out of that with a brilliant tackle. And there's Smith with a brilliant mark.
I want to see him make a good decision here, because I'm not sure he always does.
And I don't think he did then.
No.
Stewart thought it was all right.
To Stewart, so Smith's got some work to do with his disposal and his decision-making, I reckon.
Treby about to get run down by Holmes. Kick looking for Powell, with just had a bit too much on it. Into assist with Simmons. Cooper. Breeze catches hold of that football. Solder, well done on the half volley by Sherwood. Needed the release and did. To Kane. Kane wants to run. Squeeze the handball to Ruwalt. Ruwalt got around. Been impressed with his last 10 minutes or so. Here's Holmes again. In a bit of space. Kicks forward. Out in front of McConnell. Oh, his foot skills, apart from hitting the post just a moment ago from young Holmes, has been pretty good and very slick, and McConnell will have a shot.
I don't think the one he missed was about his kicking so much. It was probably just the pressure of the moment, but he's shown a lot today, a lot to like about him.
Talked about Jeff Smith's selection and what he does with the ball going forward. How do you compare that with...
Yeah, well, you've got an 18-year-old kid who just obviously knows the game. He seems like a natural footballer and uses the ball well. Big future ahead of him.
Speaking of natural footballer, here's a natural goal kicker. And it's just got the legs. And the Bays are in front.
That's almost the kick of the day so far, I reckon. He has just belted that. It's gone straight. It's got the distance. Let's go back and have a look. You watch here. We look for some good decision-making. Ruwald. Holmes sizes it up. Just a good kick. He just threaded the needle, and McConnell's kick was absolutely brilliant. And he's kicked his third goal and is a thorn in the side of the Eagles at the moment.
Glenelg have had 3 marks inside 50 today, boys. McConnell 2 of those.
They got back to level at the 20-minute mark of their second term, but this is the first time the Bays have been in front. Ball trapped in the smaller of the centre circles. We'll get the secondary bounce or throw up. If you know, we'll get a bounce. Umpire obviously has aspirations to the AFL. Oh, nicely done by Murphy out of the middle. Tumble punt, awful kick, finger breaker, goes to ground. Redden quickly, nice. Got the hands free, Stewart did the same. They put it forward, here comes Ruwalt charging through, took the bump. And wait on the umpire, too high. Too high, said the umpire. Well, Ruwalt takes the kick, puts it up high. Smith's in the middle of the pack. McConnell had a fly. Now Redden. Again, gee, that was good work. Couple of times, got the hands free. Same with Cooper. Now McKenzie. Weighted the hand pass nicely. They get it down to half forward. Carries over the back. Hinge. Fakes. Hand pass back to Sugars. Oh, well done by Lomas. Trapped him. Sugars goes for the boundary. Hinge will go down the line or out the back. He was very clever. He was very clever except for the kick. Now Cooper. Trapped by Fisher, he kept his feet. They've got runners on the far side. Here comes Kane. Kane can go to Holmes. Holmes can run, and he'll go short. And just beaten that time, McConnell was good enough to get it away from higher. Now he can go back to goal, take a bounce, kick a goal, and he's done it! Oh, Justin McConnell, that was something special.
Gee. Holmes, McConnell, it's got a ring to it, doesn't it? I'm sure the Glenelg people would like hearing it.
And when we look at the replay, I guarantee he felt the hand on the Guernsey and delayed bouncing the ball until he was clear.
Oh, he's a smart player. You watch it here, it might not have been the best option, but McConnell is just so good. And one-on-one, feels it there, as you said, has the bounce. He's never going to miss the goal. He plays with rare confidence. And Glenelg now in the lead by 9 points. The Eagles need to find something.
Since quarter time, McConnell's had 5 kicks for 4 goals.
Yeah, he's been the game breaker a few times on ABC television Match of the Day. No question, he really does have a good feel for the game and steps up to the plate and wants to do it.
I'm just wondering what might have happened if he had started inside 50 in the first quarter.
Yeah. Here go the Eagles. Simmons, Buran Mules, Ruwalt. Fisher
Been
finally got the
fantastic,
handle.
Fisher.
Yeah, he has been terrific. Backwell's not probably had one of his most prolific days, but gee, just keeps racking them up. You don't even know he's getting them. Kane, he's been a man to break the lines. To Rudolph, who's run off Schwarz. Rudolph kept it low, good kick. Sugars, his commitment has been there today, no doubt about that. Into Kane, who's playing on him. Kicks it long, at the back. Kirkby working his way in, well done, Dabrowski. Willoughby needed to be clean, got a foul bounce. In comes Jared. Redden, so the Eagles will be out of trouble. No mark, it wasn't 15. Vince, just with the outside of the boot. Lovely kick, finds Stewart. Stewart draws a man to higher. The 1-2 back to Stewart. Eagles go long. That ball's got a lot of carry on it, but it didn't go to anyone. Rudolph just backed himself, left his man. Over the top, Sherwood, inboard, Sugars. They're working their way forward, the Bays. They've got something going here at the moment. Sherwood, and lets himself down with a kick. Oh, Kirkby just got a terrible bounce. Smith just ditches Pedlar. Ball just jars loose. Smith somehow kept it in. Pretty good play by the number 12. Up looking for McConnell. He's got it again.
Gee, I can't help.
And he milks 25.
Yeah, Hyer's a little bit out of his depth. I know we probably called for a change on McConnell, but I think really Mackenzie's the man for him. Don't know about Hyer at this stage.
And he just said, come on, mate. Come on, Zachy. Come back 25, son. And I'll boot this one through for number 5.
Yeah, look, he's been all over Hyer in this quarter. I really think time for Mackenzie. Get Mackenzie back there. He's the experienced player. Great goal, McConnell. Let's not take anything away from him in the one-on-one. He was just too good. And he's having a fair effect on this game. He's kicked his 5th. And we'll just see how this happened here. Straight over the big fella. Good tackle by Smith.
Gee, that's World Championship wrestling stuff.
Yeah. The ball looked like it was out of bounds though, Michael.
All of it wasn't out though, was it? All of it's got to be
Actually,
out,
I think only 2/3 of it was out from here.
Rocker, while you're making that decision there on the ball out, I can tell you that Zach Hyer has made his way to the boundary line. He's been dragged. Dennis Redden back to full back. He's one out in the square against McConnell.
One on the umpire, he'll recall this ball. Interesting balancing act you've got, though, with Hyer going to the bench. McConnell grows in confidence from having a player dragged off him. You've got to balance up. Is he doing too much damage? Do we give him more confidence?
Well, Redden was on him earlier, so he took Redden off and put Hyer on him, and he's had a birthday. I still think maybe Mackenzie's the man. Although these young kids are getting an opportunity in a game that there's no points on the end of, really.
Cooper has the job on Kane, who's been brilliant this quarter off half back. And this time made a good selection. Short came back, although want to run again. Fisher's on the far side. He thought about it, then didn't go to him. Again, made a good selection. Fisher kept running. Allen has it. Fisher's loose. Inside 50, he can travel. And can he travel the distance? He kicks from 40. He kicks a goal. Oh, magnificent. What great running from Alan Fisher out there on the far side of the ground.
You know, he is so worthy, Fisher, to kick a goal like that. His input in this game has been nothing short of sensational around the middle. We just watch here. He's made some space. He's worked hard. Obviously has a good motor on him. He's run down, kicked a goal. So worthy. He's been selfless all day, helping his teammates. He gets a bit of reward and can celebrate. Great work, Fisher.
Ben Kane, 9 possessions this quarter, boys.
5-2 to 1-3. The Bays have broken it open in the third term. And as Chris Kendall said, Ben Kane has been terrific. In goes Backwell. And Fisher's been sensational as well.
Just need to note that that's into the breeze. We've said it's probably a 3-goal breeze. They've kicked that score into the breeze.
Yeah. Real question popped here to the Eagles by Glenelg. Kane with another possession. Ruwalt, fearless, goes to ground. Treby's all over him like a rash. Umpire Ralston calls for a ball up. 21 minutes gone. The blitz by the Bays.
Sorry, Michael. They play a little bit wide of each other, Treby and Ruwalt, both having an effect. Ruwalt, particularly in this quarter, has been rather dominant for Glenelg after Treby was earlier for the Eagles.
Slowing it down at the moment. I think that's what the Eagles need to do, slow it down a bit, but they've got that breeze, so they still need to find that mix between slowing it down and scoring. They're under threat at the moment. Fisher, third man up. Mules just working so cohesively with hand and foot. Hinge who's won some important ball, and so too this man, Jeff Smith.
Yeah, let's
really
see his
lifted it.
making. That's better.
Yeah, that's good. Back well. He's got to get around Jarrett, and Jarrett can't quite hold on to him. He's a slippery customer. Good foot pass. Holmes, he's found himself in space again, and he'll find McConnell again. Oh, it's deja vu.
Well, it is. 3 out of 3. This is very exciting, isn't it? The young fella, he's just done very well. McConnell, he seems to have a great understanding with him.
But when you've got space like this and McConnell on the lead, not many defenders can stop that. He's going for goal number 6. Justin McConnell takes it out to 27 points. And
Goodness me.
he's made a bit of a shank of it.
That was his normal confident approach. I would have thought he'd kick that goal, but he's never looked like it unless it left the boot.
And the thing about that is, it's nowhere near the goals. It's a shocker.
McKenzie brings it back in, benefit of the breeze, carries the patch. Sikalella tried to give it to Jared, was pushed in the back by Fisher. It'll come back. Fisher anticipated the hand pass, but then stumbled and straight into the back of Jared. Jared came across from Williamstown in the VFL to play here in the SANFL. Oh, shaky old kick. Fortunately, McKenzie only had about 150 metres of space. Now he runs, well aware he had Pedler outside him, drew the man. Pedler's kick has to be good. Sherwood came and closed down Salter. Well done, Paul Sherwood, the veteran.
Has had a great game today. He's worked really hard.
When they last played finals in '99, Paul Sherwood was there. In fact, I think it was his first season at the Bay. He thought, here we go, finals, you play it every year at Tigerland. Hasn't quite been the case. Not this century.
No, certainly not with the Tigers on the other side of the border either. No.
Trevor Cranston off, taking a seat. Kirk on, and he'll be opposed to Dabrowski. Kirk well rested, you'd think. And a good backhand down, follows up well. Look at that. Tried to get the hand pass forward. Fiacci taking a ground by block. How did he get that out? Umpire Colin Ralston satisfied that he couldn't. So Glenelg, the only team to have a draw with the Eagles in the history of Woodville West Torrens. And their last win here, round 19, 1999, as we said at the start. Rod, that's a lovely omen, isn't it? The last time they played finals, the Bays, was the last time they actually won here at the Woodville Oval.
It sure is, standing him in good stead.
And at three-quarter time, just coming up, if you look for it every week, the VFL and WAFL highlights would point out it's finals time in those two competitions.
Forward to those highlights. Ruwald has had some highlights of his own today.
Look at Holmes' work for this.
Yep, there he is again. Head down. Smith got it away to Allen. Some pretty tough work going on in there at the moment. In goes Powell and locks it up. I'll tell you what, the commitment by both teams is amazing. We saw Kirk a moment ago roving his own ball, working so hard. Look at these players working hard.
Watch it here from both sides. Just desperate, fierce. It's a great contest, and there's some great signs for Glenelg. They are in this contest. They've been asked to step up. The Eagles have put it on them, and they've stood up and said, "Righto, we're here. We're here to match it with you."
Well, they'll come home with a significant breeze in the last quarter, but they've just proven that they can kick them against it. So the Eagles not without a chance. Vince. Cooper running onto the football. Handball just a bit high. Grokey tackled to ground. They're under pressure, the Eagles. Vince to Sikalella, who's gone out of the game. A free kick. Will come back. It'll go to Bernie Vince for being held on to too long after disposing the footy.
Long and high into the square.
Schwartz, who's just had a dirty day, but he'll take a mark here. Oh, did he hold on to it long enough? Oh, I think the umpire might have just blown the whistle, and then Schwartz takes the mark, and he'll go back for one of his rare possessions, one kick and a handball.
Yeah, look, the smarts of Bernie Vince then. Schwartz was in the goal square in perfect position. Vince saw him over the top. Schwartz was hailing it, and he's popped it up high for him, gave him every chance. And Schwartz can thank Bernie Vince for that goal.
Did they need that or what?
Certainly did, and he needed to step up. He hasn't done much today, Schwartz. He is a quality player. He needs to kick goals when they need him, and that's right now. Just look here, it was Vince from outside 50. Saw the lead in best position, Schwartz. Got Rudolph under the footy.
Is that a mark?
It certainly is a mark, because the umpire paid it as a mark.
Free kicks 21-13 the Eagles' way.
So that breaks a run of 5 unanswered goals for Glenelg, and they've taken control. They led by 21 points. It's back to 15 now. Approaching three-quarter time, 27.5 ticked over in the third quarter. Lindsay and Kirk. Vince was good, and this will catch the breeze and perhaps end up a long way. But comes down at centre-half forward, and the snap from Garoki's pretty good. It's a goal.
Well done.
Oh, gee, that was good.
That was fantastic.
And Adam Garoki snaps a goal, and they're back in it. And they've got the margin back to 9 points with a couple of late ones in time on.
Yeah, just watching here, it was a great kick out of the middle by Bernie Vince. Treby tapped it on, and Garoki over the top. Schwartz, good shepherding. Good goal to the Eagles. They're back in it. In a matter of 30 seconds, they got themselves back into the game.
Bernie Vince, 19 possessions, 5 marks so far, 7 possessions this quarter.
3 goals, 3 in this term to the Eagles. 5-2 to the Bays. It's back to 9 points. Eagles, you think if they get another one, this last quarter set up brilliantly. Backward to Hinge. Shoveled it forward. It's away by Block. In comes Ruwalt, rides the bump. Can he get past Lindsay? That'll be a task. He's taken the ground. No free kick. Lindsay is legged. And he just gives Ruwalt one to go on with. Then he doesn't like to kick, so he gives it to Petrenko. Petrenko kicks forward, and a holding. Infringement will go to Garoki, and a push as well. Garoki goes to the pocket looking for Schwartz. Can't take the mark. Rudolph just flicks over him. Sherwood. Bayes out of trouble through Kane. Kane's got to get around Schwartz. Good tackle, Schwartz. Rudolph fed the handball out to Hinge. So they're finally out of trouble, the Bays. Boy, it was pretty hot there for a moment. Kirkby just got himself under the footy and then won a free kick. He went too early. Got a free kick for in the back, and now he gets 25. Umpire Ralston right on the spot. Time running out for the Bays to get another goal before three-quarter time. Fisher gave him something short. He goes to McConnell, sits it up over the top of his head. Block runs onto the footy. Jarrell was a bit too clever. Just knocked it away and knocked it away again. He'll chase after the footy. Well played, Jared to Sikalella, who pirouettes and finds Stewart. And Stewart's short kick will find Fairclough on the outer side.
Nothing long really on offer, so he chips for Powell, has to half volley it, and that'll be three-quarter time. Not a bad result in the end for the Bays. They certainly would be happy with that, you'd think, going into three-quarter time. With a 9-point lead, it could have been, no, Rod, so much better as we look at that scoreline. 11-4-70 plays, 8-13-61.
Yeah, overall in the game, they've made the most of their opportunities when they've gone forward, Glenelg. A 9-point lead is fantastic. Their third quarter against the Breeze, to do what they did, are signs that they are a very good footy side in the making. Now, they're 1 week away from the finals. A lot to like about it. Now for the Eagles, Ronnie Fuller can sit back. There's a few things he can try. He can try in this quarter now.
Yes, and they'd be, well, there are a few things to try, I guess. There is something on the end of it in terms of confidence going into the finals. We mentioned the finals football and VFL football, and the WAFL is coming up as well.
Bendigo and North Ballarat faced off in the first elimination final in week 1 of the VFL final series, and after the Roosters kicked the first goal, it was all the Bombers. Bendigo kicked the next 7, completely dominating their opponents to go into quarter time leading by 34 points. Jaron Wyman got one back for the Roosters early in the second before the teams traded goals and blows in a series of fiery exchanges. The margin was 10 goals when Johns kicked his third just after half-time before the Roosters put on 5 in a row. The Roosters came out firing in the last, their midfield taking control as they put on 5 goals in the first 10 minutes. The shell-shocked Bombers without any answers as the Roosters ran riot. North Ballarat kicking 11 goals 3 to Bendigo's solitary point to run out emphatic 37-point winners. The Roosters completing a remarkable 96-point turnaround from the early stages of the third term. The second qualifying final saw Geelong take on Coburg, and an entertaining opening term saw the Cats kick the first 2 before the Tigers hit back with 4 in a row. The tight contest continued in the second, Joe Gazzo goaling early for Coburg and Jason Davenport hitting back immediately. Brent Prismal put the Cats back in the lead early in the third before some brilliance from Andrew Cracker.
Somehow works a plant through and kicks a magnificent goal.
But Geelong weren't done. 3 late goals seeing them hold a slender 4-point lead at the final change. It was all the Cats in the last, the Cats running out 31-point winners. Cheap, Davenport and Hawkins, the standouts up front for the Cats. Hawkins 3 goals and 11 marks, enough to earn him best on ground honours. In other matches, 7 goals from Nick Sortner couldn't save his team as Sandringham went down to Williamstown by 2 points in a thrilling first qualifying final. And Port Melbourne proved too good for Casey in the second elimination final. The Borough home by 13 points. East Perth got away to a slow start in the final round of the home and away season. Swan Districts putting the first 2 majors on the board. The Royals evened up the score with 3 in 3 minutes. Scores staying tight throughout the remainder of the term to see the teams head into the first break with 5 goals apiece. But with a place in the finals beckoning, it wasn't long before the Royals kicked away. Ben McKinley making the most of every opportunity to boot 4 for the term. Daniel McCauley was also handy close to goal, and when Daniel Byrne kicked truly,
Goes with a long shot, it's gone through.
Yep.
East Perth went into the main break with a 29-point lead. The Swans managed just 2 goals in the third quarter, while East Perth continued to dominate, booting 6 to head into the final term with an unassailable lead. McKinley kicked his 6th, while teammate Andrew Merrington was also in good touch. Swan Districts gave a final yelp in the fourth with good goals from Nick Ingle and Luke Miles before East Perth showed why they'll be playing finals football, booting 8 for the term to run out 82-point winners. McKinley named best on ground with an 8-goal bag, teammates Daniel McCauley and Lane Spanderman both with 3 goals. In other matches, Claremont were far too good for Peel Thunder, the Tigers winners by 7 goals. Brad Smith kicked his 100th goal of the season as Subiaco beat Perth. West Perth defeated East Fremantle by 15 points and the Bulldogs had the bye. To the ladder, and at the end of the home and away season, Claremont claimed the minor premiership ahead of Subiaco. South Fremantle and East Perth rounding out the top 4. West Perth just missed out, while East Fremantle finished a game further back, followed by the Swans and the Thunder, with Perth claiming the wooden spoon.
Angela Pipos there. Interesting to note, Rod, that in WAFL footy they play their finals now at suburban grounds, the first and second semi-finals. So that's what their crowds are like, I suppose, over there. Here it's a lot better. And Mark Micken down in the huddle. Let's have a listen to his instructions to his players.
It's super important. Get your backside into them, block them out, hold them, and just make sure the ball falls in close. That's really important, because when the ball falls in close, we do really well at stoppages. We've been doing really well because you blokes around stoppages have been getting inside. And if we haven't won it ourselves, it's just been another restart. So ruck contest, super important, whether it's ball up, throw in, centre bounce. You've got to give us a great contest every time, okay? How's everyone feeling, all right? Everyone's still got plenty of run in their legs? Okay? As you can see, when we went into the breeze...
Well, Mark Micken looking for a contest from his players there. And Ron Fuller, normally very controlled when he addresses his players. He was very, very passionate moments ago. Talked about the lack of concentration and the midfielders not working back when Glenelg maintained possession. He wants them to work a lot harder, increase that accountability, start to take the momentum back into the game. Just pointed out to Adam Grokey at the end there. Grokey took a good mark at centre-half forward and opted to pass to Schwartz with 3 opponents. Said to Grokey, just kick the goal before that, back yourself, have a crack and kick him from there.
Thanks for that, Sodas. Quick scores from other grounds. I would suspect West Adelaide, with Wayne Wiedemann's last match in charge, maybe with the breeze, a better third quarter than they've had all afternoon. 41 points the margin there. And South Adelaide, big third quarter there as well. Down at Moolunga, they lead by 1 point going in to the final term, and be a fascinating final term here as well. Here's Michael Maney.
Certainly is, Neil. This should be a real beauty. They're playing for sheep stations this afternoon. Don't worry about this as just a dead rubber game. They want to go in with some finals, winning some form going into the finals. There's Kirk, Dabrowski in the ruck. Last quarter underway. Round 23 of SANFL footy. Kirk down. Who can get first blood? Treby got it to Stewart. It ends up with Powell. Powell's about to get caught by Ruwald. Got the kick away. Sherwood couldn't take it the mark. In comes Hinge. Groke's got him. Pitching it was Salter. Umpire blew his whistle a millisecond too early.
Okay, a couple of interesting changes here. The Eagles have now put McKenzie and Stewart into the middle, so they've changed their mix in the centre. And Glenelg is still going with the same players in Fisher, Murphy and Backwell's their smalls.
Get your good players around the football. Not a bad idea. Vince is around it now. Gave it back. Grokey, a standing start. High kick. Schwarz is there and got it. That is a lovely mark by Schwarz. He's had one of those days. He booted a goal in the third term and he needs to kick this one.
Okay, Michael, we haven't harped on it as much today as often we would, but those centre clearances are crucial. Eagles got it out. They got momentum. They've moved it forward. Schwarz very smart. He didn't lead out of the area where he kicked goals from. He just held his ground in the area, made it a one-on-one contest, took a good mark, kicks his second goal for the game, and the tide might be turning back the Eagles' way with the last 3 goals.
Sure, that breeze hasn't swung around, Sodas. I'm pretty sure it's howling to the right of screen.
Yeah, no doubt about that, Michael. It's still very strong. It's favouring the Bays there, but great work by the Eagles to get that one early against it.
There's the kick in, as we said. Schwarz just held his ground instead of leading, so if he misses the mark, the ball spoiled into a dangerous area where there was still a chance to kick a goal. He took the mark, kicks from almost straight in front. Good footy.
Looking for omens. Glenelg have won their past 5 straight, but their last loss was round 16 at Woodville to the Eagles by 21 points. Fisher out of the middle, or errant hand pass. Set a task for young Holmes was good. Backwell inside nicely for Fisher. Backwell taken late, play on advantage. Kirkby inside quickly. Fisher still running, shook off the tackle. And he goes for McConnell. It sits up a bit red and knocks it away. Well done by the Eagles defenders. They sweep it. Pedler, who started it. Now McKenzie wanted to drop it in short, and Jared took it. He's at half-back left for the Eagles. Nobody loose ahead of him as such, so he just takes his time. He waits. Is there a chip option? He decides to go long. Grokey in the middle of the pack, Vince, and Grokey takes it. Nicely done by the centre-half forward. He looks up, drives it, and Salter comes out and takes it in front of the eyes, and now Schwarz is on the lead, and he takes it comfortably. That was a classic. That was a John Landy, because he looked over his right shoulder, Rudolph, and bang, off was Schwarz on the lead.
Yeah, it was real good, but equally good by Salter. I mean, he was in a contest with players all around him, so confident, took it, and then Schwarz, good enough to lead straight up the ground. He could have led wide, but again, he wanted to have a shot for goal from straight in front, giving himself every chance to kick a goal. And I think he's kicked the last 3 in a row, Michael, for the Eagles.
He certainly has.
You know, Schwarz needed to step up. He'd had a really quiet first half. Let's have a look at Salter here. In between 3 Glenelg players, plays on quickly. Doesn't go too wide. Schwarz doesn't lead too wide, doesn't have to. Plenty of space in front. Kicks a good goal. Sign of a good player to step up when he really needs to. With the finals around the corner, good signs for the Eagles.
7 marks inside 50 for the Eagles today, boys. Schwarz has 4 of them.
Some of those goal possession winners in the first part of this game, Chris?
No worries, Michael. For Backwell, Glenelg, Backwell leading with 21. Mules and Kane 20 apiece for the Eagles. Treby and Vince 19. Chikalella 15.
Yes, what a game it's been. Ebbed and flowed. Eagles are in front. Just amazing. Backwell couldn't take the mark. Jared running it close to the line. Fiacci, he was out, ball was in. Vince was in, got the kick away. Wobbly old ball, well read by Mules. Cicolella just lost sight of it for a second, just trying to position his body. Mules has got a man in short. It's Ruwalt. Ruwalt kicks long. Dabrowski's getting back, and that's good play. Just got back, kept his eye on the footy, as a big man should do. And then found Powell. Powell in the centre. Geez, a good player, Powell. Really gives 100% for the club. Underrated to Jared. who's really been a special player since he's crossed from Victoria. Luke Jarrett very rarely plays a bad game. The lead-up player is Grokey. The kick's exemplary. Grokey a long way from goal. Schwarz is on the lead, but that's a real terrible wobbly old ball. Vince has got it quick to boot. Which way will it bounce? It floats. It's going to bounce. Straight to Sherwood. Sherwood away. Needed a good bounce, Bernie, and didn't get one. The kick out wide finds Murphy, and Murphy will clear for the Bays.
He's absolutely special, Vince. He is such a good player, Bernie Vince. He knows what to do when he gets the footy, and he just has a touch of magic about him. I reckon he can have a real effect in this final series coming up.
Runs just stopped a bit for the Bays. Stop start down to half forward. Hire did well. Got it off for McKenzie and then Pedler and then Fairclough. The hand pass missed and Smith comes in for the Bays and forces a ball up. He'd be happy with that. Trevor Cranston, ruckman for the Bays, just stretching and waiting for his time. Smith will go in the ruck against Dabrowski. Allen was in there, keeping his feet was Petrenko, did well, pushed off. Jarrett, Petrenko runs on. He was too quick for himself. Lost the ball. Marnie tried to force it forward. Could have been holding. Dabrowski taken down, not before he got it away for fair play. Now they're away, the Eagles. McKenzie has it on centre wing. Smith, a great chase. And he forced a turnover in the high tackle, and Hinge gives it to Mules. Mules takes his time, goes for Backwell. Sits it over the top brilliantly. Lovely, lovely delivery. And Brett Backwell takes the mark 40 metres out.
Gee, it was a good play all round by the Bays then. Using the ball well. Just go back and have a look. You see the kick just so well weighted. Backwell made good ground. Now he gets a chance to score a goal. Not many more important than this in the last quarter when you're down by 3 points.
He still rates his most important moment in football, an under-13 premiership with Harvey Bay and Queensland. That's how high he ranks premierships, because Brett Backwell's got best and fairest, a Liston trophy in the VFL and an SANFL Magarey medal.
Well, that's good, and I'll tell you what, this side that's developing around him might very well take him to that ultimate prize over the next couple of seasons. But that was terrific play by Backwell. Rated the kick nicely, went to the left-hand post, used the wind to his advantage, and a good goal.
Good time to kick your first goal of the match. 14 for the year.
He's been good without being outstanding today, Backwell, but a big last quarter from him might see things change.
Just gets where the ball is. Kirk wonderfully down to that man in question, Backwell, who laid it on the ground. Why isn't that a free kick? Taken by Fisher. Fisher's wobbly old ball to a packed situation, and Hire stands tall and takes the mark in front of Kirkby. Hire goes to the outer side to McKenzie, who just found an inch of space in front of Cranston. McKenzie in short to Powell, who's having an influence in this final term. Luke Powell shorts it up. Terrible kick. Snagged by Murphy. Away to Backwell. Will it cause a goal? Backwell out to McConnell. It's got the legs. And McConnell, you won't see him dishing it off from here. He'll strut back and have a look at them from 40 metres. And these are the sort of goals that Justin McConnell normally kicks.
He's an impressive character. His kicking has been hot and cold today. He kicks with confidence. And he goes back with confidence. He makes you think he's going to kick a goal.
Sugars took a rest there. Just a quick shot of him. Here's McConnell.
I'll take a punt. I think he'll kick this one, Michael.
Ooh, not prepared to say. I think he'll kick it. Kick to behind.
Wrong side of the stick.
Wrong side. McConnell's been terrific today. Here's the Murphy.
Here. Yeah, Murphy, terrific.
Well, they bring the ball in wide. And Jarrett, well, he took it over. So the boundary umpire, who was in good position to see if the sum total of the whole ball was wholly and solely over the line. Did you follow that, Rod?
Yes, I thought the whole ball was over then. We're in good position here for that one. Good decision again, umpire.
Neil, Jeff Smith's been pretty handy up forward in his 50th game today. He's been moved back now. He's got Grokey at centre back.
Cranston opposed to McKenzie, who lost out in the Battle of Wills. Ball out in front of the players' race, where we saw earlier today Matthew Doldig taken, and he's off to hospital and perhaps some real problems with his ankle, maybe even a break. For Glenelg, that's bad news heading to the finals. Dabrowski took possession, was taken off him. Fisher charging in. still on the ground. Came out to Ruwalt, used the pace nicely, away he goes. They share it, Fisher. He'll be chased by Simmons, who does a good chase, but just doesn't quite get there. He goes for Kirk. Oh, yeah. Strong contested mark by Daniel Kirk, and he has been very good and very quick and very athletic this afternoon, at his best.
Yeah, terrific mark. I watched with interest Fisher, who's probably best on ground today. When he got that ball, he had no qualms about kicking it to a 2-on-1 to Kirk. He had confidence in him, went straight to him, and Kirk has so far taken the mark he needs to fulfill the contract by kicking a goal.
1 goal for the season, or 1 goal for this afternoon, which equals his best for the season because he only kicked 1 other goal.
Okay.
So Kirk, who was recommended to the Bays by Peter Carey.
Ruwalt and Holmes on the wings have been terrific for the Bays today.
Oh, he's just left it left. Just hooked it a bit. Had plenty of height and plenty of distance. The Eagles with Sikalella taking a rest and Cooper coming back onto the ground.
Evenly poised this game. Nearly 10 minutes into the last quarter, boys.
Very evenly. You would like to pick a winner this close. 11 minutes gone. 5 points in favour of Glenelg. And what an amazing game it's been. It's been backward and forward. Lindsay in the ruck, down. Fiacci can't get it. Cooper in there. And umpire Hay comes in and balls it up. The umpires have been pretty good today, I think, Rod. I think they've let this game flow when they've needed to.
I think they've been fantastic.
He's an umpire lover, Rod Campbell. He just loves the umpires. Taken by Fisher. Gets it to the top of the square. A mark has been taken. I think it's Josh Marnie. And he's got it. His experience is backing back into the pack. And Josh Marnie has taken a wonderful mark.
I think you watch Fisher here. Once again, he's the person that started this. He's the engine room. Marnie, a good mark. But Fisher's just been irrepressible in the middle today.
Murphy takes a spell. He's given his heart and soul today, Byron. Barney's floated in and out of the game. Pretty good early. Had some good patches, but gee, can make it hard for the Eagles with a goal here, and he does. He's got 3. He celebrates. Why not? They go to him en masse, and that is a good sign. The troops are happy as they march into the finals.
Well, that was the one that put them in front, kept them in front. So terrific goal by Marnie. You see the mark here. Good mark. Again, we celebrated how well Fisher's been playing. Goals have been a lot easier to kick from this side of the ground, Michael, the grandstand side of the ground with the breeze. And Glenelg might, well, keep the ball down the middle or on this side of the ground to kick goals this quarter.
Eagles have only kicked 3 goals to left of screen this afternoon into the breeze. They've got their task ahead of them. 2 of those goals, by the way, in this quarter, 1 of which put them in front. Now they trail by 11 points. Fisher again involved. Willoughby. And Petrenko takes him to ground. Umpire will call for the ball. Still inside the centre square. That centre wicket block looking rock hard out there. It's bounced just off the edge there. Down about the gully position. Cranston did well come over the top. Cooper had possession briefly, and then Fisher on his back.
They're different style players, Fisher and Vince, opposed to each other, aren't they? Fisher in and under and hard. Vince goes for the ball when he has to as well, but he's a more stylish type player.
Now it's all wrapped up again. Basically will suit the Bays, you would think. This running down the clock.
They've been great around the stoppages. Mark Micken alluded to that at his 3/4 time.
Vince it was, came over the top. Hinge couldn't take it. Nicely done by Block. Shared it with Willoughby. Willoughby comes for Backwell, little carry. Backwell now, question of whether he can get away in space. He does well. Turns Stewart around. Lovely disposal out in front of goal. And Kirkby takes the mark. Gee, that was clever from Backwell. Such quality. And young Stewart found out how tough an opponent Brett Backwell is.
It doesn't get much harder for Stewart playing on a Backwell, who is clever and hard at the ball. See Marnie there too. He just jumped up, a bit of a block from behind. And so Selfless Acts here are working for the Bays. They kick another goal.
So the margin extended to 17 points.
Okay, we watch Kirkby here. You see Backwell does very well. Their smalls are playing well. He gets it inside. Kirkby, good courage, and he goes back and finishes off. And he has contributed his second goal now, and it's been very effective.
Backwell leading possession, get it on the ground. 26 possessions, 7 marks.
Thanks, Chris. Yeah, really worked his way into the game. They've had so many options. They lost Duldig early too, and they've just been able to find a way to goal, haven't they?
They have. It's been more about their midfielders, though. The good stories of the day, Fisher, Backwell. Then you've got Allen and Murphy working hard in the middle as well.
Don't count out the Eagles, though. We know they can come back. It'll make it hard if another goal comes to the Bays. Kane taken to ground. No free kick either way. Free kick, too high. Luke Jarrett, the man on the bottom of the pack, as Ron Fuller looks on. Willoughby, the man. He's mixed his form up this year, along with a bit of injury, Willoughby. Got a man in plenty of space in Allen, uses him. Allen can go onto the pocket. McConnell leads in there. Will he get it? Kirkby flies. Punch from behind. Close to the line. Just about rolled off Stewart's foot. Here's Backwell again, giving his side an opportunity. Up 15, down 15. Cooper takes the mark. Never took his eyes off the football. He is courageous and never shirks the issue. Away to Redden. Redden's got a decision to make. A bounce. Where does the next kick go? It goes out wide. Schwarz has gone a long way from the goals. Rudolph. Schwarz had a piece of his jumper. It caught underneath. Umpire watches on. He gives plenty of latitude for the ball to come out and then calls for a ball up.
Maybe it's time for Redden to just take off and make McConnell work a lot harder. I mean, the game looks to me to be beyond the Eagles, but Redden can try some different tactics because he might come up against McConnell in the finals and he needs to have other strings to his bow.
Fiacci taken to ground by Willoughby, and then Fiacci just reciprocates, just ditches him. Good bounce. Both ruckmen have a piece of it. Fiacci at the back of the pack. High ball. Mules has got to stand under it and take his medicine if it comes, and it doesn't, but he takes the mark.
Mules takes his time. Gee, chipped to the corridor well. Cranston to Holmes. We know he's a good disposer of the ball. This time into space to Kirkby. Gee, Tom Holmes, take a bow, young man. He spotted up Kirkby among 3.
Oh, he's been terrific. He's playing on a wing. He's playing on Jarrett, who's quality opposition. Just look at him size it up. His short kicks to guys leading has been as good as anyone on the ground today, if not better. He gives Kirkby a chance from the side of the ground where not many people are kicking goals.
And Kirkby hasn't either. Big leap late from Marnie, through for the minus score. 18 points the margin.
I'll tell you who Holmes reminds me of. He reminds me of a Matthew Stokes that come into the game and had clean football in 2002 in the final series. And this young bloke, it's not a final, but I tell you what, he's taken some clean ball and he's around about the same size as Matthew Stokes, and I reckon he's got as much talent.
It's what he does when he hasn't got the ball as well. He just sizes himself up well and gets to position well on quality players. He's got a real future.
Speaking of quality, Backwell got it to Cranston. Big Trev doesn't kick many, but he goes to the square. McConnell over the back. Marnie was there. Willoughby, Marnie, this could be it. He snaps, and he got a little bit too much hook on it. And it's a behind. Just got some elevation there he didn't require, Josh Marnie. 19 points the difference.
Josh Willoughby a little bit disappointing there. With his, probably could have finished with a goal there, but Marnie just tough and hard at the ball. Nearly rewarded with a goal.
Holmes has said 17 possessions, 3 marks on debut.
Yeah, that's he's been fantastic.
I tell you what, Benny Moore's injury's been a blessing in disguise.
Oh, bad kick carried too far. Ruwalt takes off for the Bays inside 50. McConnell manhandled. Play on, called the umpire. McConnell appealing either free kick or mark. Petrenko did well, danced his way through. Great kick. Treby. He's got a runner, and he goes off for Powell, whose awkward kick goes to half forward. Smith doing well. Released it. Lomas intercept. Out in front looking for Schwarz opposed to Rudolph. Schwarz was too strong. Rudolph came late. He was guarding this side of the ground. Schwarz led to the centre corridor.
He did, and that's all he's doing. And, you know, other sides should take note. That's how Schwarz plays his footy. He likes to use the corridor. Brilliant mark. Gives himself another chance.
Ken Schwarz, the Kangaroo, with 11 games with the Kangaroos, and uses that experience to belt through a goal and just a signal to his teammates, come on, we can still do this.
Look, they just, instead of really creating the play, they capitalised on missed opportunities by Glenelg then, or mistakes by Glenelg. So great effort. Lomas got the ball down. Schwartz, a terrific mark in a good area to kick a goal. His impact's been terrific since half-time. He needs some friends around him. Eagles need to get more attacking and start to create some opportunities here.
Schwartz really urging his teammates on. Brodie Lomas has had a quiet day. We normally see him scouting around, getting his 17, 18 possessions. Under 10 today for Brodie Lomas. Out of the centre, taken by Cooper, Treby, Sikalella. Got the kick away. Eagles keep coming, but just enough pressure on Sikalella for Smith to take the mark. Rudolph just lobs it high. Sikalella's got to wait for it. Willoughby. Intelligent handball back to Fisher, who just keeps getting the footy. Lays it off to Kirkby. On the half volley was sensational. Back to Willoughby. Willoughby has a bounce. Sums it up. Goes inside 50. Here comes McConnell. Not paid the mark. Roving done. He's slow to get up. Redden in. And a ball up. Gee, McConnell just didn't quite have enough of it. Got the old jumper ripped across near the collar there.
Yeah, we just watch this. You watch McConnell. Like, the effort's fantastic. I'd like to see a second effort here, though. Just bounce up, son. You're not going to get a free kick.
I think he copped one of the chops.
Yeah.
On the way down. Cooper. Back to Sikalella, who got the kick away to Jarrett. They've got to keep playing on. They've got to take the game up to Glenelg. They need to score, the Eagles. Awkward bounce. Favours Simmons. Simmons has got Treby. Just the handball a bit fierce, but it works out okay. Treby keeps it close. And well knocked away by Smith. I've been impressed with Smith today. His defensive work and his forward work. And as you said, Rod, just needs to get his decision-making right with his kicks, and he'll be a threat come final time.
Yeah, I really like him since he's gone back. He's read the ball well back there as well.
Cranston comes in with Lindsay and wins it. Well done. The toe poke was in there from Block, who follows up. The Jarrett gets past. Goes along Smith and Mules, and Mules' opponent stayed down. Vince, what's the bounce like? Could be a goal. Going, and it is a goal. Bernie Vince with the snap from outside 50.
He can make something out of nothing. That's the second or third time in this game he's taken the ball off hands, just kicked towards the goals, almost indiscriminately. He knows exactly where it's going. He takes the ball there. Brilliant kick. He's put it in the right area. Schwartz was in the goal square. He's got past them. And a goal just by kicking the ball to the right area. Well done. Hats off to Bernie Vince.
23 disposals, 5 marks for Vince.
Said a few moments ago, don't discount the Eagles. Glenelg have faded away late in quarters.
Well, it's coincided with Fisher going out of the centre too. He's done a Herculean job. I notice he's not in the middle right now.
Mark Mickens said on numerous occasions, play the game right out. And they've got a challenge ahead at the moment, the Bays. They're in front by 7. The break goes to Lomas. Suddenly their ball gatherers getting some footy. Well done by Grokey. Here's Simmons. Got to get around a couple back to Cooper. A straight kick would have them a point behind. Cooper's handball. Sold Treby into trouble. He was good enough to get it to Sikalella. He goes short to Swirls. He's carving Rudolph up. And the midfield pressure is causing that. And Squalls, we know he's got a wonderful kick on him. He'll get the distance from here. That breeze might have just died away a little bit late in the day. Ron Fuller scratches the neck. Cool and calm. Can Schwarz be cool and calm? Close to the man of the mark. The kick's away to the left. Got the distance, but not the accuracy. One straight kick in it.
Interesting play there. Fisher, who's been singing his praises all afternoon, went back to Simmons, but he looks tired, Fisher, and Simmons got away from him easily there.
Glenelg, the only side to have ever drawn a game with the Eagles since their inception. His block gave it off for Sherwood, the running defender. Sherwood's kick inaccurate. Well read by Pedler, cut across, took the mark. Pedler now has Lomas. And Lomas has Fairclough in the middle. Fairclough has Lindsay short, but he's not going to go there. Instead, he goes wide for Jarrett. Not a great kick. Follows up, gets a return hand pass. Then for Treby. Not the greatest of kicks again. Treby on his left foot decides to go for Fairclough. Chased hard. Well done by Kirk. Put a little bit of pressure on. Ball over the back. Mules goes to Vince. Mules kept it in front of him. Vince did well. Now he's got possession. Now he's got a big load of trouble and he's over the line.
It's just the little things that Vince is able to do. The way he gets his hands on the ball, the way he finesses it, moves it around. He's just got a touch of absolute class about him.
Dangerous, isn't he?
He is.
Dabrowski and Smith, who had the better of it, Smith. Then Vince. Here's Vince.
Vince on his
and
left.
He's put them.
He is dangerous. He is a player. Tell you what, he is an absolute class machine. Like, he had no right to get that or kick a left foot goal the way that he did. His last 2 goals just reeked of brilliance. Just watch here. You can see Vince, he just wanders off. I was watching him in this exchange. He was in a little bit of space. The ball broke free. There he is. No right to kick the goal, but he did because that's a class player in action.
He's booted 3. Have a look at this for a classy snap. Oh, got a good bounce too. Scores are level. And Glenelg, gee, they were in front by 19 points at the 18-minute mark. And the Eagles have come back at them. Cranston out of the centre. Desperation stakes. Here goes Simmons. Eagles on a roll. Simmons kicks long. Grokey too far for him. No free kick against Smith. Smith gets back. And Vince just about got him. Smith got it to Backwell. He was under pressure. And the cool, calm little former Carlton player from Queensland, as Neil Cross just loves those Queenslanders. Away to Fisher. Fisher goes to Murphy. And Murphy marks right on the wing. Byron Murphy, not too much time to go, 26 and a half. Murphy launches it long, hopes for a mark. Big pack, who can snag it? Sugars is there, ball locked in, Pedler desperate. Could we have another draw? Gee, it's all set up for one. The Eagles have come back with a mighty final term. Schwarz leading the charge and Vince. 3 goals and 2 apiece. Wonderful last quarter. Cranston breaks the lines, gets it to Backwell. Backwell inside 50. Kick needs to be precise. McConnell, can he do it? Marnie's there. Marnie kicks a goal. And the siren went. I think it's a draw.
No, the umpire hasn't paid the goal. The siren's gone, so...
No goal. It's a draw. Josh Marnie needed another 1 second and the Bays would have won. Yeah. But we've got another draw.
To steal a Dennis Pagan quotes like dancing with your sister, and both sides out there look to be dancing with their sisters right now as a 92-all result is what we're witnessing.
I think we've had 3 draws this year on ABC football. Let's have a listen and see what you think at home.
I think Josh Marnie knew the siren had gone too. The way he kicked it really quickly, he'd heard it first.
Pretty conclusive, I think. Well, what a game at Woodville Oval. The Eagles 13-4-92 have drawn with Glenelg 14-8-92 in a real brilliant game and showpiece of SANFL football.
Yeah, look, it was a draw today and there were no losers. I guess there's no winners, but definitely no losers today. Glenelg were fantastic. They were tough and hard at it. It was a great finals hit out by both teams. When the Eagles looked gone, they came back. When Glenelg looked gone, they came back. Great third quarter into the wind. And now we get the result that's probably worthy for this game, Neil, the way they finished and the way that both teams played.
It does seem appropriate that this match really, other than a psychological advantage, nothing was riding on it for both sides. So it seems appropriate that they finish with a draw. And Mark Soderstrom with one of the stars of the afternoon.
Yeah, he certainly was, Anna Fisher, and great touch. I suppose a draw at any stage of the season doesn't feel really great, but really there's not a lot on it today.
No, you're right. The positions on the ladder are basically sort of set. So, but going into the finals, you want to have one over your opposition. So, we might be meeting the Eagles in a few weeks. So it would have been nice to get a win, but we'll take a draw.
Just looking at the game today, though, it was a fantastic third quarter against the Breeze. It looked pretty strong out there.
Yeah, it was. It wasn't really a scoring end, though. I think, it's really a psychological thing to win. But we came out after half-time looking to really get a few goals, and we played well.
Now, looking 3 weeks to go in the season, you had to win one of these 3 games, top side, Sturt, North and the Eagles, and you fared pretty well. Confidence must be high.
Yeah, definitely. It was going to be always a hard 3 weeks into the season, but boys, we're dug deep and we've got a good result, so we're looking forward to the finals.
Well done, mate. Personally, great game today, and first time in 8 years. You boys will be there next week. We'll see you then.
Can't wait. Cheers, mate. Thanks.
Well, so it's a good interview with a really good player in Fisher. Look, they play tough, competitive footy, and that's what wins finals matches. I think Mark Micken is a terrific coach. He's got these boys playing well, and they're going to make a real impact coming into these finals now.
Ronnie Fuller, pensive, as usual. You wonder the emotions because, look, they'd won 4 in a row. South Adelaide, West Adelaide, the last 2, then North Adelaide and Sturt. So some good form coming in. Maybe this will just harden them up, given that they had those matches against South and West before this one.
I agree. They needed this match. They needed exactly the hit out that they got. And when he digests it, Ron Fuller will be happy with this game and what they get out of it.
See Josh Marnie with a couple of little errors to start the game, just overrunning that one, and to finish the game, just didn't get the kick away in time.
Probably wasn't his day, but it certainly can be his series. And this final series might revolve around a player with his experience. He's been there and done it before at the highest level, and I'd be very wary of him if I was opposition sides coming into the finals.
Well, obviously, this is the closest Glenelg has got to a win here in quite a while. As we mentioned during the call, round 1999 was the last time that the Bays had managed to beat the Eagles here at Woodville. They looked a good thing at various times this afternoon, and look, they led by 21 points late at the 20-minute mark, in fact, of the third term, and they looked very good things at that stage, coming home with the breeze.
Yeah, they did, and the Eagles really had to find something, and I don't know if they had it in them to find or if they were going to. A couple of things went their way, but then Bernie Vince, absolutely sensational. I'm sure we'll go to it in the highlights of the last quarter. Kicked 2 great goals. Schwartz very effective in the second half. And the Eagles have got a lot at their disposal, some good players and a good game plan. They're very efficient. Both these sides are efficient sides who use the ball well. Let's not forget young Holmes. His debut today was as good as you'd ever see from a player, especially a small. He used the ball well. Benny Moore's injury exposed a player who's going to be a very good player in the future for Glenelg.
And this is in the third quarter as they marched on. As I said, they led by 21 points, and they'd come from 2 points down at half-time to lead by 21 into the breeze. Eagles seemingly hadn't made the most of it, but in the last quarter, they outscored Glenelg 5 goals to 3. And here's the last play of the match. Well, not quite. Not quite the last play of the match. And Josh Marnie turned around. You got the feeling he was thinking, did you hear that? Did you hear that when I heard it?
He probably wished he had a kick at left foot. He wanted to make a certainty of it as you would. Then he heard the siren and he ruled that decision not to kick left foot, I guess.
So they're the scores, and 92 apiece was the final score, and sodas with Ron Fuller.
Well, Ron, before the game, we talked about the need for your boys to have a good hit out. South and West the last few weeks. You certainly got it.
Oh, we did, yeah. There was certainly signs in the game that we were a little bit sloppy, a little bit untidy, just a few little things we didn't do. And when you have a drawn game, every little thing matters, I guess. But look, I'm glad for the game. It was a good, tough hit out. We went right to the end, which was the pleasing sign. So, yeah, we look forward to North Adelaide next week.
Possibly a good sign, though. A disappointing third term when you had the breeze, but the response was good in the last.
It was, and yet early in the third quarter we had some opportunities, didn't take them. Then in the middle period they really took advantage, and then I thought towards the end, like in time one of the third quarter, we'd gained momentum again, but probably didn't get the goals that we needed just to give us a break. Really, I don't even know whether we're in front. I think we're behind at three-quarter time, weren't we?
Yeah, you were. Now, Bernie Vince showed some nice touches of magic in that term. The Crows have gone down by 3 points. Have you been given any indication of whether you'll have him for finals if they don't continue?
Yes, the Crows have indicated that both Bernie and Ken McGregor will be available for us, yeah.
Make you smile, won't it?
Oh, it's a little bit better.
Good on you, mate. Also, Benny Schwartz, I thought Rudolph held him pretty well early. Good to see him step up in that last term because he did quite well against the Bays last time too. It
was an excellent sign from Ben. All forwards, when they're been beaten early or got on top of, it's a terrific sign of character that they can tough it out, and his signs in the last quarter were very good.
Also noticed too, you had to do a little bit of shuffling down back with McConnell starting to go well. You gave Redden a go there and move things around. You confident you've got enough in defence to cover the finals?
Yeah, I thought Dennis did okay. We put Macca on the ball in the end, and that meant we had to change it around a bit, and Zach went back there then. But yeah, I'm pretty confident with Dennis. He's done a good job for us this year.
Good on you, Ronnie. Well, we look forward to seeing a big game next week against the Roosters. It was a cracker when you played them here a couple of weeks ago too.
No, we're all looking forward to it, I think. Thanks.
Ron Fuller, and that was very interesting insight into what he's thinking as we look forward to another final series. Of course, the Eagles, defending premiers, One player this afternoon who wants a premiership badly, Brett Backwell. Got a Magarey medal last season. Sure, he would trade it in, as I mentioned during the call again, that he would trade it in to get a premiership. His best moment in football, an under-13 premiership.
Yeah, he's going into the finals with good form. He was terrific last week, and he's been good in their string of wins. So he's an important player to them. As long as he stays fit, he'll help their midfield. Their midfield is their strength. They're very strong around the ball. And as I said, Mark Mickens created a really good midfield. And sides that have good midfields, they make a real impression in the finals. And this team has that. Don't worry about that.
Backwell with 30 possessions this afternoon. And on the other side of things, Justin Cicolella, the captain of the Eagles, well, I don't think he had his best game this afternoon by a long stretch.
He probably didn't, but he knows how to get himself up for the big games. He's a proven big match performer. He is a quality player, and I wouldn't read too much into him not having a big game today. He'll certainly be there when the guns are firing come the finals.
Very clever around the ball. I mean, that's the bottom line, isn't it? He is just so clever in traffic.
He is, and he works so well in with Lindsay. You see him a couple of times here, and the rotations through. This Eagles side knows each other very well. They've been together a long time, just like Central, experienced a lot of success, and they know how to play when the chips are down. So they'll be good in the finals. Don't worry about that. 19
possessions this afternoon for Justin Cicolella. Surprise packet this afternoon. I thought the red-headed ruckman for Glenelg was Daniel Kirk. I thought he was very good. He shows great athleticism.
Yep, and when he pushed forward, he was terrific. So he gave them something to aim at when he went forward. And there's a lot to like about the way he goes about his footy too now.
Yes, and this afternoon, Daniel Kirk, just the 1 goal, 6 kicks, 5 hand passes, and 6 marks, falling across there a couple of times in the back line to cut off the play from the Eagles. Justin McConnell, we know he's done some special stuff, hasn't he?
He is an exciting footballer, this boy. I think the way that he finishes off, he gets excited about his play. He reads the game well. He's just smart. He's a smart player, and I think his best is still to come. He is very good already. He kicked 58 goals before today, and he's now up on 63, and another player will have a big impact in the finals.
Yes, and he kicked 35 goals last season, and he's right up in the goal kicking again this season. And in fact, he'll finish second to the leading goal kicker in the competition, Brant Chambers. As we look through the goal kickers, Schwarz with 4, the leader for the Eagles. And what do you make of the stats?
Well, everything is going to be pretty close here. We go down and see that the Tigers went inside 50 a bit more, 48 to 40. The centre breaks were pretty even. I really like the way the Tigers went about it there, but the Eagles still held advantage and did well. Close games, usually close statistics. And again, not a lot to be read into that, but the coaches can certainly drag a lot out of this game. Positives and negatives, areas to improve, learn a lot about both sides in the opposition, and this will take them into the finals well prepared.
Look through the results, and last night, of course, round underway with North Adelaide securing the double chance, beating Sturt by 7 points, coming, don't forget, back from 50 points down. North Adelaide, great victory. The Eagles, a draw here this afternoon, the second time in the Eagles' history that they've had a draw, and both times with the Tigers. Port Adelaide beating West by 62 points to finish what would be a disappointing season for them, and Norwood beating South by 12 down at Noarlunga again. Disappointing seasons for the 4 clubs there, Port, West, Norwood and South Adelaide.
Certainly, and they'll be looking to have good pre-seasons. They all do, and I'm sure they will, because every side has a good pre-season and front up next year with better performances.
And Sturt and Glenelg will be looking to continue next week in the finals when they meet in the elimination final. Should be a great contest, that, between 2 clubs who missed out last year. And then the qualifying final between North Adelaide and the Eagles. Note that special time. Note that it is Sunday, and we are on air from 1:30 p.m. on ABC TV. We look forward to that contest. Interesting contest this afternoon, Rod. And who would take the better out of it quickly?
I think they'll both take a lot out of it. I think these 2 sides might meet again, if not in a preliminary final, maybe even a grand final this year. I think they're that good. So I know Central are setting the standard, but these 2 sides will meet at least in a prelim final, I reckon.
Plenty to look forward to. Finals action next Sunday afternoon. We'll see you then.